Happy birthday to the Pennine Way. Coincidentally, I'm 50 as well, so I thought it just kind of makes sense.
From the time we walk down the Pennine Way, from the time we walk down the Pennine Way, there'll be freedom, oh glory, there'll be peace across the land on that day.
The Calder Valley Voices composed this song to celebrate a very special occasion, because 2015 was the 50th anniversary of the Pennine Way, and the year that the small Pennine town of Hebden Bridge had chosen to mark the occasion with a brand new link path. This would enable walkers to come into the town, spend the night there, or simply have a break and enjoy the atmosphere. On the day of the launch, scores of people met at the station to be taken to the place where the link path begins.
Welcome to the opening of the Hebden Bridge Loop on the Pennine Way. Fantastic.
And you will head from the train station and you'll be taken on a lovely road that links all the way in. It's about 4 kilometres, and you'll be then reaching the actual Pennine Way, the start of the loop, in about an hour and 15 minutes. So it'll just take time for some pictures of the rainbows along the way, and then you will get to the official actual start of this amazing path that has been put together, and the signs, which are beautiful red signs, are there in order for you to follow.
The idea was that after walkers had descended from the monument on Stoodley Pike, at the edge of the Calder Valley, they would have the opportunity to avoid the steep drop down into Calais and take an alternative route. They would take a gentle stroll through the woodland that clings to the escarpment of the gorge across to Horsehold, and then saunter down a country road with magnificent views down into the town of Hebden Bridge. Of course, the descent into Calais was often disparaged by people who have written books about it.
It comes down Calais and just doesn't do the job. So it occurred to me that it would be a fantastic thing to put in a Hebden Bridge link path. Bowes has got a loop, let's us have a loop.
Today, the view from above Calais and along the edge of the Calder Valley is of verdant woodland, clinging to the edge of a deep gorge, a picturesque scene. The highly respected Lake District mountain guide writer Alfred Wainwright didn't exactly remember his wet 1967 walk with great pleasure. 50 years ago, when Wainwright gets there, he describes this industrial valley defaced by dereliction, a dirty river, a grossly polluted canal, a smelly pig farm, and an even smellier sewer works. Of course, the river is now clean enough to fish, the canal is now restored, and the sewage works is screened by woodland. Wainwright would be most appreciative. The route down Horsehole Road leads the walker into a friendly Hebden Bridge, proud of its small independent shops, and keen to stay that way. More appropriate to this, perhaps, back in 2006, it became the first ever place to ask for accredited status as a Walkers Are Welcome town. Wainwright does suggest taking a bus into Hebden Bridge, taking advantage of the regular bus service down the A646. The Pennine Way link path leaves Hebden Bridge via the historic Cuckoo Steps, which lead up to Heptonstall Road. Wainwright describes the arrangement of houses with terraced cottages rising up steep hillsides as reminiscent of villages in Tibet. He suggests that the town by rights should have produced a whole generation of Everest climbers. Walkers then join the path up to Hellhole Rocks. This was one of the earliest quarries. Stone from here was used over several centuries to build the terraces of cottages and produce the gravestones in Heptonstall village. On the day that the Pennine Way link walkers came, they met up with the local paceeggers. There was to be a performance of the village's own traditional hero combat mumming play, performed normally on Good Friday, but given a special rendering for this auspicious occasion.
Mince pies hot, mince pies cold, mince pies in the jar, 9 days old.
Doctor, how camest thou to be a doctor? By my travels, sir. And what are your travels, sir? Well, he started off down at Hebden Bridge station, then he went over I can kiss 2 bonny lasses, as well as the... How many bonny lasses?
The origins of the play are obscure, but Harry Greenwood, born in 1897, said that he and his brother Ned were instrumental in reviving the custom in Blackshore and Colden after World War I. The current Heptonstall revival originated at their village primary school in the 1950s, and today it's so popular that people come from all over Britain to see it. Walkers were then joined by the Peace Artistes jazz band, who led them up through the main street, Smithwell Lane, to the top of the village. When the Pennine Way was inaugurated in 1965, most of the highly sought-after houses in Heptonstall were derelict and unwanted. It's unlikely at that time that Wainwright would have suggested going through the village of Heptonstall. A large number of the terraced cottages were condemned for demolition, and the intention of councillors at the time was to carve a wide road right through its centre. Wainwright in his book did recommend an alternative route to the Pennine Way through Hardcastle Crags, which he calls an idyllic retreat, and a steep-sided rocky gorge richly adorned with trees. And he mentions its reputation at the time as being the Switzerland of the North. From the top of the village, the route of the link path crosses the fields above Lum Bank, the Arvon Foundation Writers' Centre. This is the fine old yeoman clothier's farmhouse that Ted Hughes originally bought in 1969 after his mother died, in the hope that he might tempt his brother Gerald and his wife back from living in Australia. But they stayed in Australia, and many writers have benefited as a result. In fact, Ted's famous poem, Football at Slack, was inspired by seeing a football match in one field that the link path now skirts, as it follows the ancient setted way above the Colden Valley. With the onset of industrialisation, these medieval packhorse routes became everyday routes for local people as they used them on their way to work in the mills in the Colden Valley below. 9 once stood in Radley Woods, 2 of them producing the finest silk. Today, of course, the only evidence of that era is the odd mill chimney, and the many ruined buildings that hide in the undergrowth. From here, the stone-setted Pennine Way link path gently drops into the woods above the praying hole, where nonconformists once held services in secret when they were banned from worshipping. People still gather in this idyllic setting once a year for a popular outside service on the first Sunday in May. The lush slopes of the Colden Valley are now designated as a nature reserve. The route drops down to the side of the stream, where it's crossed by this ancient stone clapper bridge at Hebble Hole. It is at this popular picnic venue that the route finally joins up again with the Pennine Way. But for the particular walkers on the day of the launch, there was an invitation to join the Peace Artistes again, a performance at the New Delight Inn at Jack Bridge. Though Wainwright recommended a different Pennine Way alternative route in his book, there's little doubt he would have appreciated the new Pennine Way Hebden Bridge link path. The landscape is so varied, from the forested escarpments of the Calder and Colden valleys to the historic interest in the village of Heptonstall. And of course, there's great pleasure in walking through the Pennine Centre, Hebden Bridge. So let's hope the new link path will be tried out and enjoyed by many Pennine Way walkers for years to come.